Yo, what's up? It's Fun Sons in the Slam Dungeon. We are back with Season 2. We know it's been a little bit, so to make up for that, we got some killer regional bands on this season. And to kick things off, we got an episode here for you with Implements of Hell. We thank you guys so much for the support, all of the kind words. I know I sound like a goddamn broken record when I say that, but it means the world to us. Thank you so much for all of the support. So let's get on with this episode. What's up, guys? Another episode of Fun Sons in the Slam Dungeon here. Currently, I'm up in Longmont with the boys in Crown Magnetar. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
So, you guys played a show up here for the Black Grass, not Bluegrass, the Black Grass Metal Fest. You guys were awesome. How'd you like playing outside again?
It was good, man. It was a little hot. Our friends in Poolside asked us to play the show like a couple months ago, so
hell yeah. How did that show come together though? Like who put it together?
It was my dude Brandon put the whole thing together and met up with the Poolside boys, and the Poolside boys like met up with everybody else and made the connections.
Okay. So you guys have been in band together for quite a while, right? How'd you guys form? This guy back here.
Yeah, he's the answer to that.
Back in 2014, very tail end of 2013, I was making music with our old guitarist, and then believe it or not, the old vocalist Alex Deniston. One day we were just jamming. We had no intentions of being a band, but he came in, and as we were jamming, he just started screaming along to it, and I thought, hell, dude, we might as well start a band, and here we are. And then over the course of about a year from that point, I ended up recruiting everyone else that's in the band currently, and we've just been going ever since.
So you kind of maintain the same lineup, right?
Yeah, basically. I mean, the old Crown was just it was just like the guys that I basically started it with. They all wanted to do other stuff, and these were the guys that were willing to take it serious. So
okay, right on.
Byron's the only one that was from the OG lineup, but
okay.
This is the lineup that has done and been involved with all of our release materials. So we kind of like say that the band restarted then.
Oh yeah. So you guys have a couple tours under your belt. Am I mistaken?
Yeah, we have we have like four and a few runs. We did our EP release tour in early 2017. With Poolside the Flamingo. 2018. I'm not sure. Sorry, but yeah, we did that. That was about 2 weeks, and we've done a couple other 2-week runs with Underlier from Canada and our buddies in Kill from Alabama in the South.
Oh yeah.
And in between there, we've done some weekenders and stuff like that. So we've been trying to get on the road as much as we can, pretty much since we've put out the EP.
How's the? I've only been to Colorado Springs, which is where you guys are from, only a handful of times. How would you guys say the metal scene down there, like, is it any more different than Denver's music scene, you would say, or?
I'd say it varies a little bit.
Honestly, the scene is one giant state of a scene. Denver, Fort Collins, and Colorado Springs, we all are part of one massive scene. And a lot of people try to subdivide it into every city, but that's really not how it works. I mean, Poolside, for example, they're up here. They're from this area, Longmont.
Yeah.
But we're more than happy to come play shows up here with them, and I'm sure they're more than happy to come down to Colorado Springs and play shows down there with us.
Right. A lot of hardcore bills and stuff.
The Colorado Springs scene is really hardcore prominent. There's a lot of hardcore bands around.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, Colorado in general. I mean, everywhere is kind of like that now.
Yeah, because I think that a lot of more hardcore music is slowly starting to catch on a little bit more.
Oh yeah.
Quite a bit.
Those shows are starting to get a little bit more packed, and they're getting more fans, which is that's really cool.
And we all independently love that genre of music also. And granted, we play tech death or deathcore, whatever you want to call it. But we've gotten to play some awesome shows with a bunch of our friends who are in some of the most badass hardcore bands in the state. So we love that stuff too. We don't really think of it as any type of tug of war by any means.
Right. Yeah.
The more awesome bands there are in the state, then that's just better for everywhere.
Let's go around the vehicle real quick. What would you guys say is your favorite local bands right now?
Dan, you go first.
My favorite local bands for a long time have been Poolside the Flamingo and Remain Sustained.
Okay.
And
I haven't heard that one in a while.
I just made it hard for everyone else because we all love those bands. And they're all out there on the road grinding and kicking ass, and they're just great people, and they're so awesome to see live every time we see them. So I just have always loved them.
Oh yeah. And Poolside's been around for quite a minute.
Yeah, they were around for they were playing music when I was in 12 years old. And they're still they're still amazing to see. So.
Oh yeah, they haven't lost their touch.
No.
So what's your favorite local band back there?
Oh man, so I have to say Poolside the Flamingo is ultimately one of my favorite bands.
Mm. Of all time or?
Locally wise, I love the fact that they have that MySpace deathcore sound.
Yeah,
and they keep that shit. They don't change it. Mm-hmm. Like every other band has. They keep that shit.
Oh yeah.
And I love the fuck out of it. I'd say Remain Sustain as well. They're one of the cleanest bands you can ever see live. I love watching them. Mm. And also the boys in Sulfurensis.
Oh fuck yeah.
I love watching Sulfurensis play, man. They're
yeah.
great deathcore. They're real intricate. I love watching those boys play. Real cool dudes. Love kicking it with them.
Oh yeah.
I'd say those are my top 3 right there.
All right. No.
For me, definitely Remain and Sustain and Fall of Scylla. I think that band is arguably the most talented band in Colorado, and they definitely don't get enough credit for it.
No, they don't. And
you're absolutely fucking right.
And it's been a while since I've seen those guys, play live, and they just kind of fucking blew me away today with their, the change in their sound, and that was pretty awesome.
Their album's really fucking good.
I just bought a copy today.
Yeah.
So awesome. Gotta support the boys. Yeah, definitely. And then they're also playing with Beyond Creation here soon.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be at that show.
Oh yeah, me too. Last but not least.
Oh yeah, so definitely follow Scylla. Love those dudes. They put on an excellent show. Not to copycat or whatever.
Right. Yeah. it is true. They're still so young too.
Mm-hmm. That's
they're
the
insanely
thing.
talented.
Young as fuck.
All of them as
so
musicians.
Talented.
Yeah.
Individually, they're all fun.
Guillermo's a great bassist. Fucking Derek's a great guitarist.
That fool is stupid good at guitar.
Oh yeah.
His age, bro.
Yeah.
He's onto some shit, bro.
He might be on drugs.
I want whatever the fuck it is. Bro.
Some guitar playing enhancement drugs that also make your dick really hard for some reason.
GG's.
Reaffirming shout-outs, Remain and Sustain, and isn't Veil and Math from Denver?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
The album is fucking fire.
I wouldn't. They're from Denver, but they're
they're not local band status, I guess.
Yeah, they're. We definitely love Veil though.
Oh yeah. So we also have a member of And Hell Followed with us.
Yay!
What the fuck? How did you join? What? How did that come about, man?
Pretty much, it was honestly it's pretty lucky. So I had added them, and I know that their page, because obviously I've been a fan of them for years. Mm-hmm. They were posting, just computer screenshot updates of music they were playing. Well,
yeah.
When I had uploaded just a couple drum videos, I was actually getting likes from Patrick Hahn, who is the original guitarist in And Hell Followed With. He wrote Proprioception. Mm-hmm. And I literally just decided, hey, you know what, I'll just message them and just see if maybe they need a drummer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it actually turns out they did have another guy. I don't remember what his name was, but he ended up just flaking, and then I ended up getting the spot. I just had to send in some playthrough videos, and then that's it. The rest is going as it is.
Hell yeah. And then you also got a tour coming up here soon.
Yeah, it's with Widowmaker, Weeping Wound, and Victims. It's going to be an East Coast run.
Does Victims ever go home?
I don't think so. I'm pretty convinced that they just live
on the road.
They have a friend probably in every goddamn state.
Yeah.
That they could just see it.
Yeah, and it's every time I turn my back, it seems like they're always announcing a tour. And it's Jesus Christ, do you have?
They're grinding hard as
yeah, right they are. They're getting that guap.
Mad props to them.
They're getting that guap,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, like guano.
Oh yeah.
Metal money.
Deathcore money, boy.
Were you guys in any other previous bands before Crown Magnetar came up? Or?
I was in 20 bands before this happened.
Oh shit!
I used to play drums.
Okay.
And I've evolved into playing bass at this point in my life, but
these guys used to play in a band called I Malevolence.
Okay.
Dan and Nick, and it was a very, very deathcore band, and it's actually how I ended up meeting them.
Yeah, me and Nick met on Craigslist.
Okay. Vietnam flashback.
The future of the world, the internet. And yeah, we started a band, and then we played shows with the old version of Crown Magnetar and got absorbed into it, and then we played a bunch of cool shows, and now we're here.
Yep. Made an EP.
Yeah. So you guys also you re-released your EP in a little slipcase digipack too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like I noticed that like at your merch table today.
Yeah.
That was shit.
Honestly, we've run out of physicals from just being on the road, so we just
did another one, but
just got some new ones printed basically.
Yeah, it was courtesy of Great Courage from Chugcore. He offered to do it for literally free, so of course we had to pass it on.
So, actually our EP, The Prophet Discuss, is on the Chugcore store online right now.
Oh shit! Definitely go check that out,
200
guys.
copies max that they had.
So that's there. And yeah, we just got some physicals out of the deal too. So
okay, right on. Let's step away from the music. What do you guys do for a living?
I move furniture.
That sounds like fun.
You're telling me, bro, when people have 450-pound armoire that has to go down the fucking stairs to the truck or up the stairs or pianos and shit, dude, my job fucking sucks. But I make that shit happen because I gotta pay bills. Cause you know what I mean? Like, my bills ain't gonna pay themselves. I gotta make some money at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a super smart person, so I can move furniture. You know? I'm content with that.
Yeah. It pays well, right?
Oh, yeah, it pays really well. If you're real good at it, it pays really well.
Fuck yeah.
I just work on an Air Force base.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah, I work on Peterson Air Force Base in Colorado Springs.
Oh, wow.
They're great to me. They give me all the time I need off to do all this music stuff, so it's pretty awesome.
Nice. Hell yeah.
I own a company called Ivy Wild Media. Shameless plug. We do. And yeah, if you guys need like websites and stuff, hit us up.
Hit them up.
By the way, top quality websites, bro. You can't pass it up.
What do you do for a living, Dan?
I tell people I'm a musician, but I'm a cook by trade. I've been cooking for a long time and trying to figure out what the fuck to do in the meantime.
Okay.
That'll let me stay on the road and living that life pretty hard right now.
Oh yeah, you should get a job with Bjorn in Air Force Base.
Yeah.
Time to get that background check, man.
Yeah. About that.
Time to take that your interest.
So aside from going to work, grinding away at that, playing music, what else do you guys like to do for fun?
I mean, to be honest with you, like, we write the music for fun. And, like, it's basically like in our face so much right now. But we've been here and there lately since we got back from tour. But we really try to get together and write music all the time. And other than that, though, I mean, don't really do anything.
Not to sound boring.
I like to go hiking and shit like that. Like, get out and experience Colorado.
Hell yeah.
Depths that
what are your favorite places to go hiking at in Colorado Springs?
Dude, I like just going up to like either Garden of the Gods or one of my personal favorites is going up to Gold Camp Road and then just going one direction. You just make a right here and you just take that shit for like 20-30 minutes.
Wow.
Just create your own path and see where you get.
Gold Camp is like this road that like runs along the mountainside, so you can just overlook the whole city. And it's pretty. There's a bunch of places to pull off, and it's a really cool spot.
The overlook is like one of the really popular sites, but when you just go and hike for like 30 minutes and you get to like the third mountaintop and you're above everything, like the view is insane from there.
Oh yeah.
There's another place though called Red Rock Canyon off of Highway 24 in Colorado Springs. They have like a bunch of hiking, obviously, but also like mountain, like rock climbing and stuff.
And they got bike trails and shit too that got recently added to that. They got like some gnarly ass bike track.
It's all fairly close too.
A bunch of jumps and shit. It looks pretty.
Oh, right on. I've hiked Garden of the Gods before, and before this, I've never been to Garden of the Gods, and it was a pretty amazing experience. Just being up there and just like. It's so scenic up there. It's just amazing.
It's beautiful everywhere you look from there.
Oh
If
yeah.
you go on a holiday though, it's packed.
Oh yeah. Like if you go on the holiday, sorry about your luck on that one. You know. So do you guys have new music on the way or?
Absolutely.
Oh, you do?
So right now we are in the middle of writing our debut album, which is slated to come out in early 2020 sometime.
Okay.
We're about halfway through writing, so we're pretty much just digging down on that and getting ready to get to the studio in the next few months and bang it out, man. Yeah, we're just right in the middle of writing it right now.
Fuck yeah. Do you know how long it's gonna be, or any song? Like how many songs is on there? Or?
We got 11 songs.
11 songs. Okay.
And hopefully like a 35 or 40 minute runtime.
Oh hell yeah! Right on. I know a lot of bands like to re-record songs that were like on their EP, like that, or demos that first came out. Is there going to be any of those on the LP? Nope.
It is going to be fresh.
All
clean
new.
slate
All new
brand.
original.
Fresh.
New evolved crown magnetar.
Hell yeah.
Straight death.
So out of all of the bands that you guys have toured with, who's like your homies?
Dude, this
Great
fucking
question.
shirt you're seeing right here is one.
I mean,
of them
I'll be honest.
Kill.
Like every band that we've gotten a tour with has been awesome. We just did a run with our super good friends in Kill. Shout out to Kill.
Yeah,
Love you guys.
The
Love
dudes
you
from Alabama,
boys.
Dirty South boys.
We still
They
got a
are-
group chat going with those dudes.
They are some of the
bro.
best dudes we've ever met. Aside from music, just as people, great human beings, and
Dude, shout out to Underlier though. Those dudes
yes,
are awesome.
absolutely.
Dude,
Shout out to
Underlier was my
Underlier.
very next point once we finished about Kill. Because Underlier is some fucking Canadian boys that drove out here,
Yeah,
made
for
the
real.
fucking balls deep adventure into America, which they've never been to.
Well, it's the tire too, like in America. That's
Dude,
been
yeah,
horrifying.
their
In a-
shit's
in a
been
blizzard.
crazy, but mad props to those boys. They've been grinding hard. They just released some shit, by the way. Check that shit out.
Yeah,
Hell
for
yeah.
real.
Go check it out.
But we bonded with Kill just because we had a great tour with them in June, the Murderous Intentions tour. But it was just brutally hot the entire time, and we were having a great time, but also simultaneously suffering.
We have no AC.
Great
in our
amount.
band, by the
Yeah,
way.
So we had zero
Yeah,
AC.
we
in
can
the
tell the
van.
story. The AC's been out, and we decided we still went on the tour, and
in
yeah,
the
it
middle
was,
of the summer.
it was
In
about
the south, in the
95,
fucking summer.
95 degrees every day and extreme humidity, and yeah,
was the
we
worst.
yeah.
It was a wet sauna fucking everywhere once we left the house.
We all
It
kind of
sucked.
developed I don't want to say it, but a hatred for the South. Just because
Hatred
it
for
was
their weather.
so brutal.
Very good
Dude,
word.
But,
yeah,
um,
that works.
But yeah, we had thank God we had Kill with us because
You would have drove home.
they made it worth it. And
Oh yeah.
they throw down every night, and they're
Great
so
musicians.
good. Great musicians, great people. So check them out for sure. And,
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, we've been fortunate to tour with all awesome bands, but we love those.
Kills
Kill boys.
the fucking
Those
the
lizard-eating
bees.
boys.
Oh,
Dude,
Gross.
Spencer bit the head off of a lizard.
What the fuck?
In the mall parking lot, it was dead as fuck,
It was
and he was
dead,
not
man.
gonna do it,
He
bro.
picked it up and
then
then
I
we-
was just like, dude, what would Ozzy do? He looked at the sky, bit the head off of this motherfucker, and threw him on the ground.
What
it was
the
so,
fuck?
And there's
It
video
was
evidence.
so sick. It was the sickest thing I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, we got videos.
I love you, Spencer. Thank you for doing that.
You guys have also played with
Squeege.
Squeege, boy.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You guys also played with like a bunch of cool regionals. Like I remember seeing you guys in Colorado Springs with Ingested and Body Snatcher.
Oh, yeah.
What are some of your favorite?
I mean, I'll be the first to say that we've gotten the opportunity to play with all of our favorite bands, basically. So we're really lucky in that department. I mean, what are you guys' favorite shows
We
you played?
played
Dude.
with like Thy Art and Whitechapel and like
Fallujah and
Fallu-
Fit for an Autopsy.
When
Love
we played
shit,
that show with
dude.
Suicide Silence, that was like life changing.
Hell
That
yeah.
band's influenced like a lot of me personally, like as far as like music.
Mhm.
And when you finally get to play with your idols that you've been like looking up to these people for years, and they just tap on your shoulder and they're like, "What's up, bro? Like, what's your name?" That's like the coolest shit ever.
Now, did
It's
you
like not only when they're like big bands, but they're cool. personal people.
Right. Yeah. Now, did you guys play with them before Mitch Luker passed away or after?
That was after.
Okay, so it was.
That was the very beginning of Eddie joining.
Okay. Speaking of Eddie, where the fuck is All Shall Perish?
I was thinking about that the other day.
I know.
Drop Suicide Silence and rejoin that band.
All Shall Perish.
I know.
The first band I ever saw that I got in a mosh pit for, man, shit changed my life. 7th grade.
Yeah, I same thing here. Like I remember seeing them with fucking Flesh God Apocalypse, Carnifex.
Yes, dude.
Oh, we also played with Carnifex pretty recently.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
just played that show. That was fun.
Where was that at? Was that?
That was the Black Sheep.
Yeah.
Oh
That was
shit.
Carnifex, Oceano.
Oh yeah, we played with Oceano twice now.
Oh shit.
I mean, I would say like we've gotten to play with Spite like 2 times, and seeing them live and getting to like share the stage with them is insane because they're insane.
Dude, I love the fuck out of Spike.
But I think
they're
like,
amazing.
one of my favorite show we've ever played has been the ones with Oceano, just because I've always loved that band, and I got to meet their members and shoot the shit with them a little bit, and it's just like this is why you do it, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just makes it worth it.
Oh yeah. Plus, the cool thing about being in a band too is like, once you get on to like, bigger regional shows, like you see like your idols, and you're just like, I love you.
And it's a learning experience too, because you get to see these insane pro bands kill it, and that's what you want ultimately for your own band. So it's just like it's like going to school or something.
Right. Yeah. Going to school.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
seeing these
teaching nerd
guys, their
shit
stage
for a minute.
presence, the stuff they just say in between their songs, they're everything about them. It's just like a learning experience to watch a band like that every night.
Hell yeah. What are some other funny tour stories you guys have?
Oh boy.
There was this one time we almost died, like hitting a deer on the way back.
Oh god.
Dude, we've almost died on
straight up.
that
We
fucking highway.
we had a show in Colorado Springs, I think it was. It was the kickoff of our Underlier tour.
That was the show with who? Like, who was that show? That was with Spite, right?
That was Enterprise.
It doesn't matter.
Enterprise.
Anyway.
Keep
So we drive 13 hours to Salt Lake City, which is brutal as hell, by the way. And it's not that bad going there during the day, but that show that night, we had to like drive back to Denver for a show the next day. So it was another 13 hours, so we had to drive overnight. And during the middle of the night, I think like Jesse and I were up front in the van, and like it started snowing outside, and we already had a bad experience from the snow, which I'll get into that in a second.
That's a
But
whole
like we like everyone's asleep, and I'm just like sitting at the van, like in the front driving, and like there's a family of deer on I-80 in like Wyoming, I think, and like I swerved to like try to like miss them, and it came like about 2 inches from hitting the van.
Dude, we swerved into the other fucking lane. Like, Nick took the widest swerve ever and barely missed this motherfucker's horns.
Holy
like,
shit.
I was so fucking like, oh shit! We're gonna die.
And we already had a really poor experience with like a tour we did with Sky Burial actually back in like 2016, like where we almost died just from snow in that exact same spot.
Oh god.
Yeah, so it was pretty much like I don't want to drive through I-80 or Utah ever again.
Well, at least when it's snowing.
Yeah,
Dude, you
yeah,
couldn't see
right.
5 feet in front of the van.
Oh shit.
And there's semis passing us at like 40 and we're going like 10, 15.
I think
It was a frightening
I lit my
experience.
pillow on fire last
Oh,
night.
that's a
yeah.
good one. That's
Yes,
a good one.
dude.
So
That's a good one for
in
sure.
San
Texas
Antonio.
really hot, and we're all fucking. I was smoking a cigarette while I was driving. While I happened to like flick it out the window as I was taking the exit, but had the big body windows open that we never usually open. So, anyways, I didn't know that it had swooped right back in and went back onto my pillow in the cot, and we're kind of chilling at this light, like, man, I think the van smells. It's probably just the heat. And then Nick just happened to look over. My fucking pillow was on fire.
Literally engulfed in flames.
We were just like, holy shit, man. It was pretty brutal.
There was so much smoke coming off of this pillow. I saw it in my peripherals and I thought the van was overheating.
Oh shit.
So I'm stressed now, like, god damn it.
And my
then
first
Byron
instinct-
turns around and is like, yo, my fucking pillow, dog.
My first instinct
There's
was
a
like,
big
swat
ass
it.
hole,
It's
like-
like a blanket. I thought I was gonna catch the blanket on fire too. Like
I know I can speak for everyone that luckily we've got to experience this many times, but one of my favorite parts of tour is taking pictures of Jesse's face when he's asleep.
Dude, fuck you guys.
Because he passes
All right,
out.
bro.
He passes
So
out,
you know what
and his
happens?
eyes are like half open still, and then he just is sleeping like like zombified. Here, I just had one pulled up.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So we've gotten to experience this many times, luckily, and there's many times that have even gone without pictures, but that's like that's always a great, spirit lifter.
No, bro, I sleep with my eyes open like over half of the time.
We pulled up to a
I
fucking
don't understand
show
why.
in Arkansas, and they were mowing a fucking grass in the middle of the field. There was a wooden platform.
Oh, it wasn't grass. It was 2.5
That
feet of
was
weeds.
like a foot and a half of fucking grass.
And then they were like, plug into this gas generator to power your shit. And here's the stage, which is this half ripped out shed with
hornets
nests all over it. The guy, he's like, yeah, the guy's bringing the PA, and he's also bringing the can of Raid. And we're like, yeah, we don't know about this.
Do you guys have any endorsements at all, or?
I only have one. I have just Scorpion Percussion. They hooked me up with sticks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty awesome.
Right on.
Definitely. We are currently working on that a lot right now. So
right, yeah.
Hopefully in the near future we will have more.
I'm trying to get the Radom real bad, but they won't email me back. Radom, please.
And maybe some legator guitar or something.
Piece of cabs.
Love you guys. Love you guys.
Yeah.
We use your shit.
What age would you guys say were you when you discovered, like metal and hardcore and shit like that? And what was the band that like started it all for you guys?
I mean, if you want to go way back, I remember being a little kid and listening to like Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park and like Marilyn Manson from like, the late '90s and early 2000s.
Right.
That, like, was what got me on like. In the old Linkin Park when like Chester would do screams, I was like, oh my gosh, like dudes do vocals like that. And then I got into Slipknot like everyone else, obviously. Loved Iowa, and then I found like core music from listening to August Burns Red when I was like in like a freshman in high school in like 2008 or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just found all the classics. I loved like The Cleansing by Suicide Silence, and
I mean that's a classic album.
Yeah, absolutely. That's like the classic album, and This Is Exile and all that classic shit just got me in like the heavy shit, and I don't even know.
Yeah.
went like that, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of listeners know that I've told this story multiple times, but I started out on Whitechapel's This Is Exile on Rock Band.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, but I probably won't tell the story again because I've told this story so many times on the podcast. But
Yeah, man.
For me personally, I grew up on Slayer a lot. Like, I
Oh,
loved
fuck
the
yeah.
fuck out of Slayer when I was a kid. Like, all through elementary school, I listened to Slayer all the time. Then I got into like bands like Slipknot and shit like that. That kind of evolved my thoughts. And then I took like a metalcore route for a little bit because like that was just like the only band I was in that was doing something like playing shows and actually making shit happen. So I was in a metalcore band for a little bit, so I listened to some albums like The Miss May I Apologies Are For the Weak was a pretty good fucking like album. Then that kind of like brought me back more into the deathcore approach because I was into Ingested was fucking amazing back then.
Oh fuck yeah.
And like when Flesh Got Apocalypse dropped their shit, or Arsis and all those bands, like I was just into a lot of like extreme death metal.
Fuck yeah.
Then the usual like As Blood Runs Black dropped.
Oh god, I haven't heard that one in forever.
Allegiance is one of my favorite albums ever.
Fuck yeah. But
that one and all the usuals, you know what I mean? Like Whitechapel, Suicide Silence, all those other bands.
Yeah.
Job for a Cowboy.
Dude,
that changed my fucking life.
Where the fuck are they now? Like, holy shit.
Serpent of Gnosis?
Dude, they are evolving,
Johnny Davies in that new band, Serpent of Gnosis.
Yeah.
And they are pretty fucking badass.
I haven't heard anything.
If you haven't checked it out, definitely do it.
It's a full album, though. Yeah.
Yeah,
Check that shit out. It's
yeah,
badass.
they're good as fuck. I like that band a lot.
For me, I used to have a cousin Jason. When I was about 11 years old, I was walking downstairs and he was blasting "Dig" by Mudvayne.
Hell yeah!
I kind of heard the drop. I kind of fell in love with it. But
this kid,
Gabe Mazon, that kind of like changed my life. It was I think like 7th grade or something. But he had just showed me Job for Cowboy when they had dropped Doom, and then basically he was just always showing me all the good stuff. I was really into Count Your Blessings, Allegiance, just stuff like that, man. Really early deathcore.
Well, this is kind of like a 2-day story, but I'll try to narrow it down here.
Long story short,
my dad had a copy of the Black Album by Metallica.
Okay.
I'm not really proud of that, but I definitely jammed that a lot when I was like 8 or 9. Yeah. And then one day my cousin, we went on a road trip to Joplin, Missouri, and he was like, "Hey, have you heard As I Lay Dying?" And I was like, "What? What is that?" And given that I was like in Metallica, yeah, I was like, that was pretty cool because like Shadows of Security, that album, I jammed that with him on the way up, and I was like, this is awesome. And then I actually played in a band with like some kids I went to school with, like in junior high, who play in a band called Bones of the Earth now. And the guitar player Rafe actually showed me August Burns Red and Somatic Defilement by Whitechapel, and that was like the moment where I was like, oh my god, there's like a whole core universe out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it was just kind of a steady progression into like more tech death stuff from there. Like I listened to that Mafia EP from Flesh God Apocalypse around that time.
Dude, Flesh God Apocalypse.
Yeah, and My Fears Have Become Phobias. I listened to that song like a bajillion times over. Yeah. But that progressed into like Fallujah and Spite and all the stuff we listen to now, and I love all that stuff. So.
Well, fuck yeah.
I gotta give a little quick shout out to Amir because that was the first ultra piss shit that I ever used to listen to.
And the Acacia Strain too.
And the Acacia Strain. There's probably 10,000 bands I could say that about. But that was some of the first like really heavy like piss shit that I listened to that I was like, oh my god, okay, like this is intriguing.
Do you guys remember the first ever metal show you've ever been to?
Yes.
Absolutely.
What was it?
The first real metal show I was at was Killswitch Engage, Devil Wears Prada, and Dark Tranquility, and it was a badass fucking show, and that was probably in 2008.
Oh shit!
So that'll tell you how badass it was.
I had some pretty fucking amazing parents who took me to Ozfest 2001.
Oh shit!
I was 6 years old. I was turning 7 in 2 weeks. So I saw Black Sabbath, Marilyn Manson, Slipknot, Disturbed, like Mudvayne. I got the autograph from the original vocalist of Drowning Pool that day.
Oh shit!
It was a life-changing experience. Once I went to that show, that's when I realized like this is what I need to fucking do in my life. Because there's no better experience than just watching like a massive festival as a 6-year-old that has the imagination of being a musician.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That shit like sparked a fire, so I wanted to do it from then.
Fuck yeah.
Mine was goddamn 5-finger death punch when they were fired, dude. They were on the way of the fist, dude, and they were just playing like 500 cap venues and just like fucking shit up, dude. I think it was 6th grade, man. It was badass. Thank you again, Gabe, because then a year later we went to that All Shall Perish and Suffocate show, and that shit changed my life.
Fuck yeah.
Gabe Mazon, I love you.
I actually went to a local show like in Northwest Arkansas called Skia Fest, and it was full of I was actually fortunate. There was a bunch of good bands who were around that area, but there was a band called The Overseer. I think their drummer actually plays in a band called Wolves at the Gate now.
No shit.
Yeah, but that was like the first actual metal show I guess I went to, and it was amazing.
I'm not sure if I told this story before on the podcast, but fuck it, I'll do it again if I did. But the first ever metal show I've ever been to was Judas Priest in Red Rocks.
Fuck yeah.
They played
for sure.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah, and they played with Whitesnake too. So that was pretty awesome. But like the first I guess death metal, deathcore show I've ever been to. The lineup was Whitechapel. They were playing what's the third album called? New Era of Corruption. They played that album in its entirety. Chelsea Grin, I Declare War.
Fuck
nice.
yes.
The Acacia Strain.
Oh my god. What year?
This was like in fucking
2011 maybe is when
2011, 2012, around that time. But I got a funny story of that show. So, I've never heard of, the Acacia Strain before, and I've never heard of I Declare War before, and, I became a fan of both of those at the same show. But my friend at the time, Anthony, I went with him, and, we were kind of off to the side. This was the first, indoor show, I guess, you could say, and it was the first time I've ever been to the Summit. And, we were just chilling under the stairs, and he's just like, "Hey man, you want to move up for this next band?" I was like, "Sure, fuck yeah." So the Acacia Strain was about to go on, and it gets better. It gets much better, trust me. So, I'm looking around the venue, it's like, this is a pretty cool place, first time here, fuck yeah. And then, how they got, like, the balcony up there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I look up at the balcony, and there's this guy. He's, like, getting up on the railing, like he's about to fuck some shit up from there. He's all looking at the band like, what the fuck, And then a bunch of people look up at him, and he looks down at him. He's like, hey! And people are just like, the fuck? And then he jumps. And then, like, people move the fuck out of the way. And then, like, you just heard this, like, really fucking loud slap.
Holy
and you
shit.
felt it in the ground.
Oh my god.
I was just like, what the fuck did I just see?
Yo, shout out to that dude.
Oh no. It gets better. It gets fucking better. He gets back up like nothing fucking happened. Yeah, he's like, whatever.
Alcohol, man.
That
Alcohol.
was
Crazy shit.
And then at that same show, during the same band, some guy tried to get up on top of me. Shut the fuck up, not like that. Because, he wanted to crowd surf, and I'm trying to push him up, and then, like, he puts his hand on my head, and it slips. There goes my fucking glasses. And it was, like, in slow motion, too. Like, even the music was in slow motion. It was just like... And I was like, oh, fuck, whatever. Stomped on him, whatever, And then after they got done playing, Whitechapel was setting up. And then my mom texted me. She's like, hey, how's the show? And I'm like, I can't see. She's like, why? What happened? I'm like, well, I lost my glasses. I mean, kind of fucking sucks, but, She's like, well, I hated those glasses anyway. So I was like, well, cool. I just smashed them for you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, Mom. Love you, Mom. You guys got any other, like, crazy concert stories kind of similar to that, or?
There was one time.
Ones that we can tell.
Dude, there was one time when I was at the beginning of, like, the band, before we have the set that we have now.
Mm.
I decided to drink an entire bottle of Tennessee Honey before I played.
Oh, God.
I drank the entire bottle, blacked out in the parking lot, woke up to Dan telling me we play in like 5 minutes.
This was in our very early local band.
Yeah.
This was back in the
We
day
don't do
before
this
I took
anymore.
this shit seriously. Like, I was fucking up real bad at this point in time. So I, like, woke up, forced myself to puke, tried to recuperate, drink as much water as I could, puked that water up, and I almost fell off the stage. But the music notes that I was playing were on. Like, my muscle memory and the practice that I had kept me in the show. It was fine. I was just way too fucked up for my own good, and I will never fucking do that shit again. I promise you that.
It was impressive, though, to watch.
Kind of reminds me of this one story when I had Stages of Decomposition out here for my birthday show. Big shout out to those guys. They were telling me this story of when they played, I think it was Chicago Domination Fest a few years ago. But their, I think it was their drummer, their guitarist, I don't know, one of the two. He goes missing, and Stages is supposed to go on, like, in 10 minutes. Or something like that.
Been there.
Yeah, and then they were like, well, shit, we're Smoo. Where the fuck is he? They were looking around for him, and I guess one of the buddies comes up to him and is like, yeah, he's in the hotel room. You might want to go back there and check on him. So, from what they told me, they got there. He was hugging the toilet. There was puke everywhere. And I don't remember who went up to him, but he said, hey, motherfucker, we gotta get up and play a show. And he's like, oh, okay. I shit you not. They played the show, and he played perfectly fine. And he was just fucking gone.
That muscle memory.
Yeah.
Dude, that practice adds up, man.
Oh,
I
yeah.
fucking remember that show besides the moment I stepped and my pinky toe was like 2 inches from a 4-foot drop. I looked down, I was like, fuck no, walk over to the center, and I almost ran into Dan and shit. And then I was like, alright, Gather yourself, motherfucker. You're good.
I got electrocuted on our last tour.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck?
Like Frankie Palmieri status.
Yeah.
Do tell.
So we were playing at Killer's Tacos in Denton, Texas. Sorry if that makes you guys look bad, but your tacos are fucking good.
Tacos are awesome.
Tacos are fire.
Anyway, so it was kind of a small stage, like in the back of this taco shop, and there's like this like little light fixture thing in front of the stage that's like actually only about 6 inches taller than my head is, and I'm only like 6 foot tall, so it's really low ceiling. Anyways, we're in like the middle of like our like third song, and I like put my arm up, you know, when I'm doing like vocals, whatever, and I like come down and I accidentally like hit one of the wires out. And I was like, oh, like, it's unplugged. It looked like a phone jack kind of thing. And it was hanging down right in front of my face, so I went to pick it back up. And unbeknownst to me, the part on the side of it was completely exposed, and I just grabbed it. And it electrocuted the fuck out of me.
Holy shit.
And then I, like, stopped grabbing it, obviously. Luckily, I was able to. And then a bunch of other people immediately started trying to grab it to try to help me out. And I had to, you know, ward them off.
Like, hey, no, this is painful.
Yeah, pain and yeah, exactly. And,
pain and suffering. And
no one really knew what was going on at the time, except for me in my mind. So it's kind of more funny, like
right, yeah.
that whole scenario. But yeah, it was not really funny, I guess.
That doesn't sound fun at all.
Honestly. But yeah, tour story.
Another tour story.
That was the tour story where me and Byron and Jesse were driving back from Vegas, and we were like 200 miles out from the next rest area. And Byron was driving on the highway and had to pee while he was driving.
God, I had to piss so bad that I just woke everyone up because it was in the middle of the night, and I was like, someone hand me a fucking bottle. We couldn't find one because it's all pitch black, and you know, if you've ever fucking toured, your van just becomes a shithole, so it's really hard to find a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was literally like, I'm going to piss in this fucking seat unless someone... And so fucking Jesse just hands me a big old Dunkin' Donuts. Perfect, right? I just fucking yank my pants down while I'm going 80 on the fucking highway and just put it right up to my, you know, and just fucking pissed, man. Going like 80 and then, yep, through that bitch.
Don't let it though.
Don't let her.
Threw it in the back of
Don't
the van.
let her.
Back of the van.
That was a scary moment.
Oh, man.
So many of those moments.
What's probably the weirdest venue you guys have played?
Oh man, they played some weird ass venues, dude.
Oh my! Well, as far as experiences while you're there, definitely that fucking place in Blacklight District Lounge.
Dude.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Long Beach.
Long Beach.
Okay, so long
No,
story
it's
short,
closed. It's not a venue anymore.
They're on like bar rest.
so this
Probably.
I'm gonna tell it terribly, but we just had a bunch of weird experiences there.
Yeah, just every time we go to the Blacklight District, you get some pretty odd local guys.
There was this
That's
band that
interesting.
was blowing into like an Amazonian like death whistle at the end of their show,
With
What
a bunch
the
of
fuck?
noise
and there was
going
just
on.
like a bunch
It
of
was like
noise coming
slow
out of this
doom.
cab, and
Slow doom with the whistle.
there was just like smoke coming up everywhere, and then in the meantime his drummer was just like casually breaking down his kid right behind him, and he's like
He's screaming in my face.
and then at this they're like the last band to play, and there's no one there anymore, and Byron's like sitting right in front of them at the bar, and the guy's like blowing the whistle right in his face, and I'm standing in the back with our photographer, like, what the fuck's going on? And then Byron just like looks back at me over his shoulder, like, is anyone else I can see?
It's like I had to make sure someone was seeing what the hell I was seeing, man.
They were cool ass dudes. They grilled us hot dogs and shit before the show, but that was just some crazy shit that was going on.
Don't forget the one man black metal experience.
Swartwood coming out with his
Shout out Swartwood
14th studio
and your
album.
15th album.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's another story. We won't even get into that.
Let's see, where are we at? I'd say we're pretty good. Thank you guys so much for taking the time.
Thank you, man. Thanks for coming to the show. and
Fuck yeah, guys.
Thanks for having us on.
Fuck yeah, definitely. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in, listening to this episode, and we'll see you next week. Alright, that about wraps it up this time around. Next week, Cage and I go to Waterworld with Dunkin, Colin, Justice, and Miles. We come back home and we play Bean Boozled. It was fucking disgusting, let me tell you. Thanks again so much for listening in. Be sure to check out those shows I mentioned before down at the Roxy and Trailside. And as always, we'll see you next time.